You stand in the aftermath, not broken, transplanted. The soil still clings to your skin like proof of a deeper intention. They called it defeat. I call it burial with purpose. Seeds are hidden, not discarded. You were pressed beneath ridicule so roots could break open stone. Every insult that tried to suffocate you became fertilizer. Every whisper meant to stain you turned to water. Mockery mixed with midnight and made a greenhouse of shadows. You absorbed it all until the husk split. Now the husk is gone, and the stem is showing. Listen, you are not a victim of circumstance. You are evidence of design. While spectators search for entertainment, heaven drafted a manual around your scars. Blueprints were inked in bruises. Coordinates were etched in loneliness. Others counted seasons on calendars. You counted them by tombstones, silence, and subterranean growth. They saw nothing happening. You felt everything shifting. Because darkness to a seed is not a prison. It is a contract. Pressure was the signature. Pain was the seal. Silence was the witness. All three testified that you belonged to the deeper current beneath applause. When they paraded trophies, you learned endurance. When they traded cheap crowns, you forged a hidden throne. While they begged lights to feel alive, you listened to the pulse in the dirt. That pulse is older than applause. It beats now like war drums beneath your ribs. Do not curse the hands that buried you. They completed the ritual. Do not chase explanations. You outran them the moment roots touched rock. You were never meant to decorate surface gardens. You were engineered to split bedrock and call wells to the thirsty. Look at your history. What mocked you yesterday now markets your resilience. What labeled you fragile now fears your endurance. They hushed you, thinking silence would shrink you. Silence stretched you instead. Feel the fire rising behind your sternum. It is not your anger. It is the furnace of heaven announcing harvest. You were planted, not punished. That difference will rewrite every memory you carry. Hold the moment. Justice is no longer abstract. It walks on visible legs of consequence. It breathes through doors that once stayed shut. You will watch them open without knocking. The ground trembles because your roots are moving. Walls tremble because your name is written on them like prophecy. Chains tremble because the metal remembers heat. This is not revenge, it is alignment. And alignment is louder than retribution. You asked for mercy. Heaven answered with mandate. You asked for a path. Heaven answered with eruption. Because the timing of the chosen is not democratic. It is divine verdict, executed on schedule. While the ordinary chase coping mechanisms, you carry catalytic power. You do not soothe atmospheres. You rewire them. You do not adapt to rooms. Rooms adapt to you. Your presence is a sermon written without ink. Stand taller, not for ego but for physics. Elevation changes perspective. When you rise, angles shift, shadows shrink, and truth sharpens. Humility is not hiding, it is harnessing. Harness the altitude assigned to you. Remember the humiliation they staged. It was never humiliation to heaven. It was a crowning ceremony performed in code. They clothed you in ashes. God set the ashes ablaze. Now the glow refuses to dim. Feel that heat. It is not borrowed. It is native. Heaven's fire chose your bones as conduit. Your veins now hum like copper wires, carrying voltage no storm can ground. You do not owe explanations for radiance. Sunrise never apologizes to silhouettes. Let the light expose, separate, clarify. Those who thrive in clarity will approach, the rest will retreat. Both responses are sacred. Your assignment is not to convince. Your assignment is to ignite. Flames do not negotiate with wood, they transform it. Speak, and atmospheres will decide whether to combust or flee. While the timid draft disclaimers, you declare outcomes. While the skeptic charts probabilities, You announce inevitabilities. Certainty is oxygen to the chosen. Inhale it without shame. Now observe the terrain. Every valley that once echoed with your cries will soon echo with footsteps following your lead. Every cliff that witnessed your near fall will witness your elevation. Landmarks of pain will convert into altars of proof. Do not dilute the testimony. Name your nights accurately. Name the pits, the betrayals, the closed doors. Call them out so generation after you can locate the trail. Omit nothing. Revelation requires specifics. You were buried publicly. You will emerge publicly. Visibility is part of the contract. Not for vanity, but for verification. Heaven displays finished work as a sign that the blueprint was flawless. Justice walks now in daylight. It carries scrolls of verdicts, signed by eternity. What was whispered in courts of angels is shouted across timelines. Your emergence is the citation. Hear the ground cracking? That is the shell of limitation fracturing. Hear the wind shift? That is destiny adjusting its cadence to your stride. Step forward. Roots have done their work. Now let branches claim the sky. Shade will follow you. Fruit will surprise those who never watered you. Bird song will replace gossip. Carry your mantle without hesitation. God did not ignite you for decorative flame. You are a torch designed to start chain reactions in cold places. Where you walk, systems will warm, lies will liquefy, truth will harden. Stay anchored. Fire unguarded becomes wildfire. Fire disciplined becomes lighthouse. Guard the flame with obedience. Fuse passion with principle. That alloy is unbreakable. They will ask how you survived. Do not soften the answer. Say, I was never surviving. I was germinating. Let that sentence travel like seed to every buried soul within reach. And when they question the holiness of your justice, point to the scorch marks of heaven on circumstances. Point to the open graves of dead accusations. Point to the living proof of promises. Silence will handle the rest. Now, lift your eyes. Horizons are expanding to fit the blueprint. Territory responds to occupancy, occupy. Voice responds to ownership, speak. History responds to courage, act. The hour is not coming, the hour has come. Delay is a myth. Permission is irrelevant, only alignment matters. Align and watch delays turn into accelerations. So I charge you, walk upright. Plant your flag where fear once planted its lies. Strike the ground where shame once anchored your steps. Release declarations where doubt once nested. Leave no corner untouched by flame. Because you were not defeated, you were planted. What others used to humiliate you, God used to activate you. Justice is here, visible, real, holy. And the fire dancing around your calling is not yours to tame. It is the fire of heaven, and it has chosen you as its standard bearer. Move, manifest, multiply the proof. The field is ready, the roots are deep, and the harvest waits for no hesitation. Let every breath you take confirm the verdict. Buried once, blazing forever. Now rise and set the world alight. The echo of heaven has not finished speaking. It tightens now, like a hand on the bowstring, pulling you farther back, only to send you farther forward. Every extra second of concealment lengthened the arc of your launch. That tension you still feel in your chest is not anxiety. It is calibrated potential gathering speed. Do not confuse restlessness with lack of direction. A compass spins at the poles because it sits on raw magnetic force. Your inner needles whirl for the same reason, too close to pure north to pretend otherwise. Set your face like flint and the needle will steady. Stability is unlocked by commitment, not comfort. Listen to the ground under your feet. It murmurs like molten metal cooling into shape. That is territory being reassigned. That is atmosphere rewriting covenants. Earth and air both know who just surfaced. You walked through corridors of delay, but delay was a tutor. It taught you to translate silence into strategy. It trained your eyes to read whispers, your spirit to decode winds, your heart to sense the faintest shift in divine timing. Now timing obeys you because you are synchronized with the clockmaker. Lift your voice, not to explain, but to legislate. Words in your mouth are no longer opinions. They are decrees. Speak, and marrow will remember its first design. Speak, and dormant blueprints will rise from the dust. Bodies, businesses, nations, none are exempt from a seated voice in harvest season. Guard the crown of clarity resting on your thoughts. Doubt will approach, wearing familiar faces. Accusation will echo in accents you once trusted. Recognize the disguise and keep marching. Those who cherish confusion will brand certainty as arrogance. Answer by building, not by arguing. Watch how walls crumble at the touch of obedience. Watch how locked gates rust in your shadow, because authority is heavier than opposition. Weight wins every contest with wind. Carry your calling like iron, and every breeze of resistance will break around you. Remember, fire chooses fuel that will not beg for mercy. You were selected because your soul does not flinch at heat. Stand in the center of the blaze until flames look like feathers. Then walk out, carrying embers in your palms, for those who still wander cold nights. Now the horizon unfolds like a scroll. Lines of code written before calendars now illuminate your next steps. Follow the glow. Do not pace. Advance. Do not hesitate. Ignite. Every footprint you leave will germinate possibilities for the ones behind you. Lead with the certainty that nothing holy is fragile. And here's the final seal. Heaven invested its own fire in your bones, not as ornament, but as evidence. Evidence that burial cannot cancel blueprints. Evidence that humiliation cannot erase anointing. Evidence that justice, when ready, walks visible and uncompromised. So breathe deeper than atmosphere. Move faster than permission. Live louder than intimidation. Because you were not defeated, you were planted. Your roots wrote the prophecy, your rise fulfills it. Let the fire of heaven finish what burial began, and may the world be forced to witness the fullness of a seed that refused to stay hidden. This is your conclusion and your commencement. Go, set lineages free, rewrite territories, and blaze trails bright enough for eternity to call them roads.